There is a repeating financial pattern that quietly affects the majority of people. It crosses income levels, professions, and even generations. It does not discriminate between those who earn little and those who earn a lot. It is subtle, socially normalized, and often mistaken for just how life works. Yet this one pattern is responsible for preventing long-term wealth accumulation for millions. It keeps people in cycles of earning and spending, working and worrying, hoping and postponing. The tragedy is not that wealth is impossible for most people. The tragedy is that the same predictable pattern keeps repeating, and very few recognize it early enough to break it. Today, we will talk about this pattern keeps 90% of people from building wealth. So, before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. The pattern begins with reactive earning. Most people focus entirely on increasing income without designing a wealth-building structure around that income. They believe that once they earn more, everything else will fall into place. Promotions, raises, job changes, these are pursued aggressively. But income alone does not create wealth. Without allocation strategy, higher earnings simply pass through a larger spending pipeline. The next stage of the pattern is lifestyle expansion. As income grows, expenses expand to match it. A raise leads to a better apartment. A promotion leads to a new car. Increased earnings justify upgraded vacations, dining, subscriptions, and conveniences. None of these purchases feel irresponsible. In fact, they feel earned. But over time, fixed monthly obligations rise in proportion to income. The result is financial equilibrium. Higher income, higher expenses, same stress. Then comes delayed investing. Many individuals postpone investing because they feel they need more margin first. They tell themselves they will start next year, after paying off one more bill, after reaching one more milestone. But wealth is built on time as much as money. Delayed investing reduces compounding power. Each year postponed shrinks exponential growth potential. Another stage of the pattern is minimum compliance. People contribute just enough to retirement accounts to capture employer matches, but rarely more. They make minimum debt payments instead of aggressive principal reductions. They save what remains after spending rather than investing first. This minimum approach creates slow progress that feels like effort, but rarely produces significant long-term results. Debt normalization plays a major role. Car loans are expected, student loans are common, credit card balances are manageable. Buy now, pay later plans are convenient. Debt becomes integrated into everyday life. When debt is normalized, wealth-building capital decreases. Interest payments redirect money away from asset accumulation. Financial complacency reinforces the cycle. As long as there is no crisis, there is no urgency. Bills are paid. There is some savings. Retirement feels distant. The absence of immediate danger creates false security. Years pass under this calm surface. Another component is lack of clarity. Many individuals cannot articulate their net worth, asset allocation, or long-term financial projections. Without clarity, money decisions remain reactive rather than strategic. Wealth building requires measurement. Now consider Social Security. Many people unconsciously assume Social Security will cover a significant portion of retirement expenses. Because it is government-backed, it feels secure. However, Social Security was designed to supplement retirement income, not replace it. Benefits are calculated based on lifetime earnings and claiming age. For most individuals, these payments cover only part of monthly expenses. Healthcare costs, housing, and inflation continue rising. When people rely too heavily on Social Security without building substantial independent savings, they limit their retirement flexibility. The pattern of underestimating future needs keeps wealth accumulation lower than necessary. Emotional spending further reinforces the cycle. Purchases tied to stress relief, comparison, or social pressure gradually consume disposable income. Social media intensifies comparison culture. Keeping up becomes more important than building forward. Another powerful part of the pattern is income concentration. Relying entirely on one job creates vulnerability. Without diversified income streams, such as side projects, investments, or scalable skills, Earning potential is capped by hours and employer decisions. Skill stagnation also limits wealth. In a rapidly evolving economy, earning potential depends on adaptability. Individuals who stop learning often see income growth plateau. Without skill growth, long-term financial growth slows. Tax inefficiency contributes quietly. Failing to use tax-advantaged retirement accounts, deductions, or strategic planning reduces net accumulation over decades. Small inefficiencies compound significantly. Emergency instability is another barrier. Without sufficient reserves, unexpected expenses force withdrawals from investments or accumulation of new debt. Each disruption resets progress. Comparison-based success metrics distort priorities. If financial decisions are driven by how life looks rather than how secure it is, long-term wealth suffers. Visible consumption replaces invisible accumulation. The pattern continues into midlife when responsibilities increase. Mortgage payments, childcare, insurance premiums, healthcare costs all expand. Without early asset-building momentum, it becomes harder to accelerate later. Late realization often triggers urgency, but time has already reduced compounding advantages. Catching up requires higher contributions and stricter discipline. Breaking this pattern requires reversing it deliberately. First, prioritize investing before lifestyle upgrades. Pay yourself first. Second, track net worth annually to measure progress. Third, aggressively reduce high-interest debt. Fourth, diversify income streams to reduce dependency. Fifth, increase financial literacy continuously. Sixth, plan realistically around Social Security instead of assuming it will fill gaps. Wealth building is less about dramatic moves and more about consistent structure. Automate contributions. Increase savings rates with every raise. Avoid lifestyle expansion that locks in higher fixed expenses. Focus on asset acquisition rather than consumption. The pattern that keeps 90% of people from building wealth is not laziness or lack of intelligence. It is a socially accepted sequence of earning, expanding, postponing, and assuming. Once you recognize it, you gain the power to interrupt it. Financial transformation begins when you stop reacting and start designing. Wealth is rarely accidental. It is structured, and the earlier you shift patterns, the greater your long-term advantage. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the button to subscribe.